Joining us at the table is Tiffany El-Amin. She is here to talk about some really cool events that are going to be happening at the Carnegie Center for Literacy and Learning. Welcome, Tiffany.
Welcome to the table.
We're so glad to have you here. So, MLK Day, this Monday, it's going to be chilly. And so for folks who may not want to do the march outside, you guys have some events. Tell us about it.
Yeah.
Yes, so we have the early morning part of the day of Martin Luther King Day. It's speakers, there's activities, there's food, and it's an opportunity to build a relationship with the Carnegie Center, but it's also an opportunity to learn more about what did Martin Luther King Jr. actually do. So,
That's really cool. What
Yeah.
sorts of ways will Dr. King be remembered?
Well, you know, everybody talks about his dream speech, and when we were asked to be a part of this, it was really putting Martin Luther King in food and agriculture, and everybody's like, how does that combine? And so we get to talk about the Poor People's Campaign, and we get to talk about all the great things that he did in the movement of food accessibility, civil rights when it comes to what we eat and how we eat, and how important he was right before he, was assassinated.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Okay, so a lot of people consider MLK Day to be a day on and not a day off. So tell us more about the Service Learning Project.
Yes, most people are off work, but it's a day that everybody should be doing the services that Martin Luther King Jr. and the great people around him as activists did. So yes, we are working, but it's a lot of work in solidarity. So the Poor People's Campaign, it was a time where people all around the world, around the United States came together and with a shared mission that, everybody is not eating at the table, and what do we do to activate that? So our service project is to make pickets and banners. The pickets will be going with us, Kentucky Black Farmers Association, when we go to DC, and we'll use that when we do marches and rallies up there. And then the banners will be taken to like food markets and hubs, and it's going to be basically the community saying this is what we're fighting for. This is what our campaign around food is, and how important food and farms are to us and the relationship to Martin Luther King.
So let's just back up real fast there. Explain kind of what's going on with this protest, because you're making banners, but what is the issue? Tell us.
So we go to DC, and we call them DC fly-ins, and Kentucky Black Farmers Association, we bring farmers, food, ranchers, and we all come together, and we usually bring young folks with us to learn about policy and policy advocacy. And so the big thing about all of that is policy is the key to change. And there isn't like a march happening, but when we go to DC, most of the time there is somebody rallying about resilience or bringing awareness to our world around us. And so these pickets will be used when we do any of those marches. We go in February and we go in March. And then just if we are ever organized, we have a new commissioner of agriculture, so building those relationships. And sometimes when you go down to DC or you go down to Frankfurt, it's nice to have, a little banner, a little picket, to say we're here and we're fighting for our food to this day. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. So tell us about locally sourced meals from alfalfa too. Let's talk about that connection.
Yes. So yeah, my hats, right? So like I started with the Kentucky Black Farmers Association hat. I'm the director, but I'm also co-owner with my husband, Tiffany El-Amin, Alfalfa's Restaurant and Catering, which loudly, we are here, we are catering. We've been around since 1973. We do not have the brick and mortar anymore, but we cater into institutions like Kentucky State University, Eastern Kentucky University, NAACP, and so for this wonderful event, we also get to source local. And what does that mean? That means that I know my farmers. I also work with Black Soul, Our Better Kentucky, and so we make sure that the people who are eating the food are actually the people who are growing the food, because that's the mission, and that was the mission with the Poor People's Campaign as well. So we'll have some wonderful food out during that lunch, and most of the food, the produce, and the meat will be sourced from Kentucky farmers.
Nice. Very cool.
I love alfalfa.
Thank you so much for
Thank
stopping
you.
by to tell us about this event. We really, really appreciate it.
Yes.
And it's going to be a good day.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be cold, but be warm. We'll have hot coffee, hot tea.
Yeah.
Please come. You don't have to register. It's a free event, so come get food, come do an activity, and leave your stamp on Martin Luther King Day.
Thank you so
Nice.
much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Tiffany.
All right, everybody.